Oh, what is the skis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXHockeyCast. We're on episode 125. Toronto Maple Leaf legend, Joe Nieuwendyk, of my little hockey show where once a week I go through all the news and what's happenings around the NHL, mainly focusing in on the Leafs and the Calgary Flames. Those are my two favorite teams, but I'll be discussing all 32 teams on this podcast. And we got some shit to discuss, but I promised last week I was going to discuss the New Jersey Devils, the Devils. So we're going to do that now, even though I think the Devils are okay. Now, if I talked about the Devils last week, they may not have been as okay as they are now, but they're doing good, bro. Like, they're first place in the Metro. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because they have played quite a few more games than anybody else because of the Global Series or whatever the fuck. So they have games in hand on other teams, hence why they're in first. But overall, man, their stats are really, really okay. I mean, goals for, they are 11th in the league, 3.5 goals a game. Goals against, they are 6th in the league. That one took me by surprise. I was like, oh, I thought they were letting in an abundance of goals. Turns out, well, I mean, 2.8 is a lot. I believe all these goaltender numbers should start to come down as defensive systems start to adjust and settle in, but 6th place right now for the Devils. Their power play is humming at 30%, 30.4 to be exact, 5th place in the league, and their penalty kill is doing well, 83.3%, 11th in the league. So the Devils are doing good, man. Now, they did go through a little bit of a rough spot there in October where they lost 4 games in a row. They lost to the Capitals, the Tampa Bay Lightning 8-5. That was pretty ugly. They lost to Detroit and the New York Islanders. So pretty decent competition. All these teams are kind of in the mix. We know Washington is probably the most elite team out of the ones we just talked about right there, which is wow. We'll probably discuss them a little bit later. We got Tampa. They're a contending team for the playoff spot. Detroit's in there, and the Islanders are in there. But yeah, that was definitely a rough stretch. Lots of goals against. 6 goals, 8 goals, 5 goals, and 4 goals. Since then, they have had 2 shutout games. They shut out the Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. They're having a pretty decent Canadian road trip. They did get shut out by Calgary, which is, I don't know, I think that's just revenge for Markstrom. There might be a little bit of a beef right there between New Jersey and Calgary. I didn't get to check out that game, but hell yeah, that was a Dan Vladar shutout, I do believe, so pretty cool. Outside of that, I mean, they're doing well, man. They're doing well. They spanked the Ducks as expected, and their next game is against the Habs. They got, okay, the next 3 games they should be able to win. The Canadians, the Islanders, and the Sharks. Then it gets tough. Then they got the Panthers twice in a row, Tampa, Carolina, Washington. That's going to be a test. That's absolutely going to be a test. But let's take a look at their stats in terms of player-wise. Let's see how Markstrom's doing. He was, he's got a lot of pressure on him this year to help New Jersey get back to the playoffs. 10 games played, 5 wins, 4 losses, 1 loss in overtime, 2.62 goals against, and a .907 save percentage with a shutout. So good, not great. Good, not great. 907, you want that to go up a little bit more for the amount that they paid for Markstrom and how much he's getting paid. You would like that to go up a little bit, but not bad. And Jake Allen, super underrated goaltender. He's great. 5 games played, a 3-1-1 record, 260 goals against, and a .904 with 2 shutouts. So seems like Allen's, rather he's incredible, or he might have a bad game or 2 every now and again. But Jake Allen is one of the best backup goaltenders I think you can have. And in terms of the players, I mean, Jack Hughes, you would want a bit of a better start at Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes been a little bit disappointing out of the gate compared to what he did at the beginning of last year. He was scoring like 2.5 points per game. He was out of control, leading the league in scoring, and then he got hurt, and Bob's your uncle. But right now, Jack Hughes in 15 games, 12 points, 4 goals, 8 assists. Not bad, but not Jack Hughes level, right? So is he dealing with something? Is he battling with an injury? He's a -3, which there's not too many minuses. There's one glaring minus on this team. We'll mention him in a moment, but you would want some more points out of Jack Hughes, and maybe he's a little bit of a sleeping giant. Maybe he learned from last year. He's like, hey, don't blow your load in the first 20 games. Like it's a marathon, not a sprint. So maybe he's containing himself. Maybe he's really trying to just play a full 82, which would be huge. I don't believe he has done that in his career, and that's always been kind of a stigma around Jack Hughes, is the injury problems. But captain Nico Hischier, he's doing just dandy. 10 goals out of this guy in 15 games. Can't say I saw that one coming. 16 points. He's doing fantastic. Jesper Bratt, this guy just continues to be awesome, continues to be a point-per-game player. 15 games, 15 points. Only 3 goals. You would want a few more goals out of Jesper Bratt at this time, but not bad. Timo Meier, he's kind of shutting me up right now. I've never really liked the Timo Meier addition to this team, but 13 points in 15 games, 6 goals. Not bad. And Stefan Noesen continues to be a really, really good player for this team. 15 games, 13 points. He is a -2. Only a -2, not that bad. Not a big deal, but how many points is Stefan Noesen going to finish with? Like, has he ever had anything like this going on in his career? He's 31 years old. Let's take a look at that old career right here. So in terms of points, the most he's had, he's actually done well for the last couple of years. He had some good years in Carolina, actually. Before he arrived at Carolina, his best point total was 27 points in 72 games with the Devils. Whoa, he's been around, bro. He's played for the Ducks, the Devils, the Penguins, the Sharks, the Leafs. He played 1 game with the Leafs. The fuck? Carolina, and then back to New Jersey. But in Carolina, he was a 36-point, 37-point guy back-to-back years. So 13 goals and 14 goals. So looks like he is well on pace to match those numbers and possibly, very possibly, exceed those numbers with the Devils. So that was a great addition for the New Jersey Devils to bring him back in. So that's been working out really well. He's got as many points as Jack Hughes, which is fun. Paul Cotter has slowed down. He's got 9 points. Dawson Mercer, 8 points in 15 games. You know, you'd like a little bit more. Dougie Hamilton's got 8 points. Only 1 goal, though, so you'd like him to start hitting the back of the net, but he's been good. As far as I've heard, he's been playing really well. And hold on, let me just find Andre Palat. What is going on with this guy? I was really excited when they brought him in. Clearly, Adam Wilde of the Steve Dangle podcast was immensely over the moon when New Jersey brought him in, but 14 games, 3 points, and he is a -7. That is the worst on the team by a bit, I would say. But yeah, that one's glaring. He's played in almost all the games and just hasn't really made a big impact in New Jersey since he's shown up. So that's been a little bit disappointing. Simon Nemec in 9 games, he's got the 1 point. A good chance he might have just gotten sent down, because I think if you hit the 10-game mark, you blow a year of their ELC or something like that. I don't know, but it doesn't look like Simon Nemec will be cracking in the lineup full-time just yet. And then there's Luke Hughes, who, admittedly, I just dropped in fantasy because just hasn't really done a lot yet since he's returned, and it looks like he may still be battling with something. It looks like he's not 100% still, so he hasn't really made a big impact with the team just yet. And then Brett Pesce is also back in the lineup. I believe he and Hughes both came back, and that has definitely helped the team out. Brett Pesce, that guy is a defensive defenseman. Sadly, is a -3 in the 6 games, so yeah, you'd like it to be a little bit better. Keep an eye on that one, but right now, man, I don't see a lot to be all that worried about with the New Jersey Devils. They seem to be doing fine. They look like they're well on their way to a playoff spot. I would just like to see a bit more out of Jack Hughes, and maybe the goaltending can tighten up a little bit, but hey, man, they're doing good. Like, just maybe get some more goals. Outside of that, their defense is actually doing well. 6th place in goals against, and their penalty kill is doing great. Power play's great. Yeah, man, I mean, what more can you ask for? You're getting great depth scoring out of Stefan Noesen. Eric Hall has been pretty decent. Yeah, man, not bad, not bad. So Jersey, you guys are doing okay. Last week, if I talked about you, it might have been a little bit of a panic, just a little bit, but right now, I think the Devils are doing okay. But who isn't doing okay is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Holy jumping. Currently, 6th place in the Metro Division with the New Jersey Devils. And the Devils. And their Pittsburgh, 5-7-1 record. Not horrible just yet. They're only 2 games under Bettman 500. So they could fix this, right? Let's take a look at that. Well, their goals for per game right now is 19th in the league. 2.92. Goals against 30th in the league. This is where one of their big glaring issues lies, is their goaltending. 3.77 goals against per game. That's not going to cut it. Power play, doing good. 22.2%, 11th in the league right now. That would be probably a top 5, top 10 power play at the end of last season, so that's doing pretty good. It should be with, the Malkins, the Crosby, Letang. They should still have a good power play. And the penalty kill is shockingly really good at 86.5%, 6th in the league. The fuck is going on with this team then? Well, it's the goaltending, bro. It's the goaltending. Tristan Jarry, woof. 3 games played, and he's probably played himself out of the NHL. 1-1 record, 12 goals against already, with a 5.45 goals against average and an .836 save percentage. That is unplayable. That is non-NHL abilities right there. What the hell is going on with Tristan Jarry? What the hell's going on with the Pens? And what the fuck is Kyle Dubas doing over there? Oh my goodness. There's been some questionable moves by Kyle Dubas so far, starting with the contract extension of Tristan Jarry. They locked him up for 5x5, I believe, and I talked about these freaking goaltenders that get that $5 million 5-year contract. It is risky, bro. You're playing Russian roulette with that kind of contract with those type of goalies, man. So often it backfires, and it backfires in horrendous fashion. Are we seeing what could be a potential, I believe his name was Cal Peterson, the Los Angeles goalie that, holy crap, now he's in Pittsburgh, or now he's in Philly, playing in their minor system, and that's where he's staying, because no one in the NHL will pay that man $5 million to play on their team and lose games. And that is currently what Tristan Jarry is doing. He is losing games for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's playing terribly, and what the hell do you do with that? Do you waive him? Sure, waive him. No one's going to touch him. Nobody's touching that guy. You can waive him, send him down. They might have already done that. I would not be shocked. Can you trade him? Most certainly not. There's no, hold on now. If Cal Peterson can get traded, Tristan Jarry can get traded. So I think he could potentially get traded. And why the hell not when you have goaltenders like Alex Nedeljkovic and Joel Blomqvist there? They're fine. I would rather have those two in net. So, especially with Nedeljkovic, he was really good last year for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it looks like he is probably their best option again this year. 5 games played, 2 wins, 2 losses, an overtime loss, 2.75 goals against, and a 903. 903 is usable. You can potentially win a game or two with that. And then there's Joel Blomqvist, the young goaltender, 6 games played, 2-4 record. 3.47 goals against, but a 909 save percentage. So there might be something there with Blomqvist. It looks like maybe their potential, maybe a goalie of the future that they can use. Definitely not a bona fide starter just yet. Very small sample size, but I would think at this time that Alex Nedeljkovic is the guy. He was great for them last year, and don't know what you could do with Tristan Jarry outside of sending him down, letting him do an AHL stint, try and figure it out down there. Basically Jack Campbell the guy, or Cal Peterson, whatever you got to do. Just can't have that on the team. You can't have a goalie with an .836 save percentage. That is very subpar. Very subpar. Now, it is only 3 games. He could come back and be great. We've seen it before with Tristan Jarry. He gets in his slumps and he comes back and he can play great. But at this point, yikes, man. Very much so yikes. And then the rest of the team. You got Sidney Crosby, the ageless wonder, still not really slowing down, man, at all. 13 games played, 14 points. And I think he just got one of the 3 stars of the week alongside of Ovechkin, which is hilarious. 2 of, the 2 old, the past generation superstars that would have been the 3 stars all the time, but they're still in the 3 stars. Like, Ovi's 40, and Crosby's 37, 38, and they're still crushing it, man. We'll be talking about Ovi later, but right now, Sidney Crosby, 5 goals, 9 assists. He is the fucking gas of this team. He is the oil. He is everything. He is all the cop hats. He's everything. But then there's Malkin. Malkin Hot start, cooling off a little bit, 13 games, 14 points. What the fuck more can you ask out of those two guys right now at their age? And like, damn, son. Rickard Rakell has actually bounced back pretty decently from a really bad year last season. 13 games played, 9 points, and 6 goals. 6 goals right there, so he's doing pretty good. Erik Karlsson's got 8 points and a -6. So that's about as expected. Yeah, he's going to put up points, but he's a defensive liability. You got Lars Eller doing pretty solid. Always been a solid player for them. 13 points. Sorry, not 13 points. 13 games, 7 points. There you go. And then the rest. Chris Letang's got 5 points in 13 games, a -6. Not good enough. They tried out Jesse Puljujärvi. He's actually not doing horrible. 10 games, 5 points. That's not horrible. Kevin Hayes, new addition, hasn't done a lot. 13 games, 4 points. He's got 3 goals, but yeah. Brian Rust, he's still kind of battling through injuries. He's only got 4 points in 8 games. Nola Chari's got 3 points in 13 games. And Michael Bunting has been, holy shit, what the fuck is going on with this guy? Thankfully, I didn't draft him. I thought he could be a late fantasy steal because I figured he'd probably get on a line with Crosby, and we've seen what Bunting can do. He is a player that has shown he's played well with superstars before. He played great with Matthews and Marner, and he did well in that position, and it looked like he was doing good at the beginning. When he came over from Carolina, he was doing well, and now 12 games played, 1 assist. That is all. A -5, so yikes. This is looking really bad for Michael Bunting right here. Got to try and get out of that. They're not using Rutger McGroarty. He's got 3 games played. He went back down, and the crowd was giving that to him when he was in Winnipeg. I think they're in Winnipeg, and the Winnipeg crowd was giving it to them. They're like, Jagger's better, and where's McGroarty and all that shit. Very nicely done, Winnipeg. I like that. Very well done. But not so well done for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Is this the end of an era? I mean, I feel like it's already kind of been the end of an era. I almost feel like the arrival of Kyle Dubas was kind of that. Like, bringing in Dubas and the extension, like the big fucking long contract that Dubas got. Like, obviously the plan was to, have the sunset with Crosby and do what you can. Basically just tend to Crosby's needs while doing the best that you can to set them up for the future. But, dude, the future is fucking bleak for Pittsburgh, man. It is going to get so ugly in, like, now, basically. We're getting, you think it's bad now? Just wait till Crosby, Malkin, and Letang are gone. Oh, buddy. It's going to be basement dwelling for Pittsburgh for quite some time, I feel like. Because of all those playoff years and the moves that they've done recently have just been like, what the hell are you doing? And completely opposite of what Washington's done. Washington doubled down. They're like, you know what? We're gonna build a competitive enough team around Ovechkin, and because we're chasing this goal. So we're chasing the Gretzky record, and let's make it competitive. Let's make it as best as we can for Ovechkin. You may be sacrificing the future in this, but right now, look at him go. It's been fantastic. And Pittsburgh, they kind of seem like they have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the rebuild. They're not fully committed to the rebuild, obviously, because you extended Malkin, you extended Letang, you extended Crosby. Obviously, those guys aren't going anywhere, and you're just going to have to play with them. And you got Karlsson, untradeable contract. You got Tristan Jarry, seemingly untradeable contract. You got nothing really coming up in the prospect pool. You got Rutger McGroarty, who's not even cracking your roster right now. So that it doesn't mean he won't be an NHL player at some point, but it doesn't look like he's going to be like a top line center that could be, the guy that takes the torch from Crosby. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So what do they got? They've been middling. They've been getting middling picks, late teens, early 20s. They haven't really gotten anything in the top 10 in forever. They've been trading away picks for like a decade, being a playoff competitive team, and they really haven't done shit in the playoffs since they won back-to-back cups. It's been first round exit, first round exit, first round exit. So, I don't know, man. Like, they maybe should have done a quick retool at one of the points through 18 to 22, but now here we are. There hasn't really been an effective retool. Like, they brought in guys like Rakell, they brought in fucking Peters. I don't know, man. Like, their defense stinks. Their goaltending stinks. Their forwards are good, but old. Like, they're very, very old teams. So I think it's just going to get really, really ugly for Pittsburgh over the next 5 years. Hopefully they get some really good picks in the draft lottery and they can get himself a superstar there, but I just don't see a very nice looking future for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's going to get ugly again, which it always seems to kind of go that way with Pittsburgh. Like, it's the darkest before the dawn. You know, they almost moved, and then they get Lemieux, and then they almost moved again, and then they get Crosby. So is it going to get that bad again? I mean, I don't think the Pittsburgh Penguins would be in fear of moving at this point after all that success they had with Crosby, even though, like, prior to that, they had all that success with Mario, and then they almost moved again. Around when they had Crosby, it was really, really bad times for Pittsburgh. And I think it's going to happen again, and we'll see what happens with the fans and stuff like that. Right now, they're not even selling out their own building with guys like Crosby, Malkin, and all that. You can't really blame them. They're not winning. They're not a very competitive team, and I don't know, man. They don't really have a lot going on. It's just a team hanging on to an old dynasty that's been dead for almost 10 years now. So yeah, it's going to be rough roads for Pittsburgh. Curious what y'all think. Could they get out of this at some point? Like, you just can't ask for much more out of Crosby and Malkin right now. Like, what more can they do? They're above a point per game at their age. They've brought up so many other players. It's time for other guys to step up, and it's just not happening with Pittsburgh. So yeah, Pittsburgh's in a bad spot right now, and I don't see it getting a lot better. Unlike their counterparts, the Washington Capitals. I mean, it comes with the territory. You talk about Pittsburgh Penguins, you gotta talk about the Washington Capitals and Ovechkin, baby. He is awakened. Oh dear, watch the fuck out. Ovi is on pace for 50 goals, and he is on pace to slaughter the Gretzky record this season. Can he do it? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Could. Maybe. But that would be awesome if he did. It would be super awesome. And right now, man, Capitals are looking very, very smart in the way that they are running their team right now. They have brought in more people. They have made trades. They have added more to their team to make them better. And it's working, man. They are currently 4th in the Metro, which is... What the fuck is going on with the Metro? Why is 4th place with an 8-3-0 record? The fuck? All right, the Metro must be stacked right now. But the Washington Capitals apparently are stacked right now. 3rd place in the league for goals for, which is amazing considering last year they couldn't buy a goal. Now they're scoring at will. 4.18 goals for per game. 3rd in the league. That's incredible. Goals against, 9th in the NHL. 3 goals against per game. Okay. Well, like I said, goals are pretty high right now. It's the beginning of the season. Power play is their big issue right now. Kind of like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not quite that level, but power play is running at 10.8%, 30th in the league. And I think we know what the problem more than likely is that it's just too damn predictable. They're going to try and get that puck to Ovechkin every single time. They might have to try and change that one up a little bit because it's been a bit of an issue for a while, but their penalty kill is no issue. 7th place, 84.6% right there. And their new, and oddly, I mean, even though their goals against is good, their goaltending has not been great. Right now, you're pretty much split down the middle. Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren. Thompson's played 5 games and he's got 5 wins. He's 5-0 with a 2.97 goals against and an 894 save percentage. So under average numbers, but he's 5-0. So what the hell? Charlie Lindgren, 6 games played. He's 3-3. He's got a 270 goals against and an 896. So slightly better, but he doesn't have the record that Thompson has. So it still seems like it's a 1A, 1B situation. No one's really grabbed that spot just yet. So they're just sharing the net. They're doing okay, but you're going to want those numbers to get a little bit better. There's only, that's only going to hold on for so long. Goaltending under 900. If they can get that up to like a 905, man, this team might be unfucking beatable. And let's talk about Dylan motherfucking Strome. Holy jumping, this guy has exploded. 11 games played, 17 points. This guy has been a multi-point monster this season. I picked him up, and he's been ridiculous. 4 goals, 13 assists for Fucking Dylan Strome is killing it. Ovechkin's killing it. 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points. Over a point per game player. He is on fuego right now. Absolutely on fuego. Cannot be stopped. So happy I have him on one of my fantasy teams, and it has been so much fun having Ovechkin. I believe he is now 34 goals away from the record. And right now, Ovechkin's on pace for like 50 goals. He is going to crack that. But like I said, he is 39, 40 years old now. Can he keep this up? Maybe, man. Maybe this new team, they're competitive, they're winning, they're better than last year, and maybe they got something to prove, man. Maybe they got something to prove from last year, being kind of the laughingstock entering the playoffs last year. Like, oh, they got a negative goal differential. They shouldn't be here, and honestly, they shouldn't have. They got their asses kicked. They got swept. They got wrecked, and maybe they want to rectify that. Yeah. But yeah, seriously, I think they might be on a mission. Not only the mission to get Ovi his 34 goals and beat the Gretzky record, but let's make another final fucking splash. Let's get Ovi one more cup. Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Let's do that. Let's get him up there. Let's get him another cup. That would be amazing. Can you imagine that? What a finish for Ovechkin that would be if he crushes the Gretzky record and he got a Stanley Cup. Damn, what a finish that would be. Anyway, outside of that, they're getting great performances out of Connor McMichael. 12 points in 11 games, 7 goals, 5 assists. Alexei Protas is coming out of nowhere. This guy's got 11 points in 11 games. He's huge. Tom Vetchkin, 6 goals, 9 points in 11 games, getting consideration for the Four Nations Team Canada team because Tom Wilson, yeah. You got John Carlson, 9 points in 11 games. He is humming. Trevor Van Riemsdyk has 7 assists in 11 games. Who saw that coming? Nick Dowd, he's getting some points. Pierre-Luc Dubois. So, and I mean, I'm seeing article after article that, hey, Dubois is fitting in really good, but is he though? Like, he's got 11 games played, 6 points, 1 goal, 5 assists, and I know he had that one big game where he had 3 points. So he's had 3 points in his other, 9 games. So that's not all that impressive to me. Rasmus Sandin's been good. He's been pretty good. Andrew Mangiapane, I would love for him to get going a little bit more than that. Only 3 goals in 11 games, 4 points. And Jacob Vrana, he's been... I want him to get back to the way he was when he was first in Washington. He was like a 30-goal guy. He was ridiculous, but 2 goals in 9 games. I don't know, man. And they got... I think Matt Roy just came back, and that's going to be a huge addition to their blue line. He's just got the 1 game played. Yeah, dude, this team is, I'm not going to call them a wagon, but they're super fun to watch right now. And some of those young guys, that is the difference from Pittsburgh to Washington. Not only are their additions in the free agency working out pretty well for them, but so are the young guys that they have in the system. Alexei Protas coming out of nowhere, and Connor McMichael's been great. And they have that other guy that they drafted. He was supposed to be a good goal scorer. I don't remember his name right now, but they have that kid in the works as well. So, hey man, Washington's doing really well right now, and I hope this continues. I want the Ovechkin tour to continue on, and he is just killing it right now. Absolutely sensational. Ovechkin, man, he's one of a kind, and it's going to be really interesting, as we get closer to Ovechkin breaking this record. I feel like it's pretty safe to say that Gretzky is going to do the same thing that Gordie Howe did for Gretzky back in the day when Wayne was breaking all of Gordie's records. Gordie Howe would fly to all Gretzky's games, make sure he was going to be there for whenever the day came that he did it, and he wanted to be there and pass the torch off to Wayne. And I feel like Wayne will absolutely do that for Ovechkin. He will be at the games when he gets close. He's going to follow around Ovechkin until he passes it, and he will gracefully hand it over. It'll be an amazing moment. Now, there is some possible potential for controversy because of Ovechkin's connection to Vladimir Putin in Russia. There is a strong connection there. They're like buddies and shit like that. I hope that doesn't ruin the moment. I hope that doesn't become the big story. I hope there is no controversy, honestly. I hope it's just Ovechkin's from Russia and Putin just, he's a great star from our country and I love him. I hope there's no shenanigans. I hope there's no doping. I hope there's nothing there. I really, really hope not. I just want Ovechkin to break this record and to be celebrated and everyone have a good time and no controversy whatsoever. That would be great. Let's hope that's the way that it goes down. It's just a great moment, and one of Gretzky's legendary records gets broken. And then immediately after that gets broken, we'll talk about Matthews. Hey, could he potentially break it? And I guess that means we're going over to Leaf talk, aren't we? Oh, so Matthews is out. Matthews is out against the Boston Bruins tonight. That is fucking terrible. I've been dreading this game all week. I already know that the Bruins are going to fucking stomp Toronto. They're going to stomp their fucking heads in because that's the way that it goes, man. That's the way that it goes. I feel like right now Bruins are trending up while the Leafs are trending down. In a way, like they had another very frustrating loss against St. Louis. Just not good enough. The Minnesota game was whatever, man. It was back-to-back with the travel and all that shit. They barely had 24 hours between games, so I feel like the game that they had was a good effort. They didn't get the win. They got a point, which is it's something. At least they got a point. That's really good, but man, the team has just not been impressive to me lately. They have just not been playing well. Obviously, the power play is just a joke at this point. Like, yeah, they tried the 5-forward thing. It worked, but I don't think that's the answer. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not getting paid to fucking run this power play. That's been a problem for years, which makes no sense to me. How can a power play with this much talent on it just not be able to figure it out? I don't understand it. I think, honestly, they need to go with the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. I think they're just going crazy. They're trying way too much on the power play. When Matthews and Marner were passing it back and forth to each other, I wanted to crack a fucking stick over their heads. Shoot the stupid fucking puck. Shoot for rebounds. Like, oh my God, shoot low at the pad and get a fucking rebound. Get a deflection. Bodies in front. Tired of this overload umbrella bullshit. They're passing it around it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for years. And we're inevitably going to have another new power play coach next year because fucking Savard is done. There's no way. I've never seen a power play coach on the hot seat like Savard has been. Only in Toronto does anybody know the names of fucking anyone else on that bench outside of the coach. Washington, do you know who your power play fucking coach is? Absolutely not. Well, maybe you do. But this is ridiculous, man. Like, I just think at this point, they're in their own heads. The media's all over it. Podcasters like me are all over it. And obviously they're hearing it. They know. And whenever they get a power play, you just see the dread on the team. Like, they're the only team in the league that fucking gets upset getting a power play. Me too, watching it. I'm like, oh no, we're getting a power play. That should not be happening. You have Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Tavares, Nyes, Mo, OEL. What more do you fucking need? I don't understand it. You guys make so much money and you just can't figure it out. What do we do? What the hell do you do? My suggestion is the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Bodies in front, rebounds, and get ugly. Because I am tired of watching this fancy London night bullshit where, oh, I'm Mitch Marner, everybody. I'm going to pass up an open net shot for the 50th time this year. And, oh, it worked this time. Oh, everyone's happy. Rah, oh, Marner's so talented. No. Marner should be a consistent 30-plus goal guy, but he refuses. He has a great shot. And he won't use it because he wants to be a fucking London Knight still. That's why. He just can't stop. He wants to be on every highlight. He wants everything to be, oh my God. Just put it in. Just get the pucks in there. It's a problem. This power play is a joke. It's the worst in the league. It's hard to watch. It's frustrating to watch. And clearly it's affecting the players as well. And it's been the detriment to the team. It cost him a playoff series last year. It's cost him playoff series before. It's costing him games now. And what the fuck? It's unexcusable. Literally unexcusable with the talent that they have. It's just fucking weak, man. It's fucking weak. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. They keep trying shit. They have too many forwards. A trade is inevitable. Like Jason or Nick Robertson's gone, right? Like he's gone. He has to be gone. Someone's gone. Rather Kampf, Yarncroak, someone's got to go because they got too many guys and they don't have any money. And I don't know, man. They're trying to bring in, what the fuck is his name? Connor Dewar. They're trying to bring him back in, and then Jockenpau's coming back. So they want to get Hakanpää in there to get him some fucking games. They want to get Connor Dewar in there because he can apparently score some goals in the bottom six that can help out. And then you got problems like Holmberg's not playing, Robertson's not playing, fucking Pacioretty's in and out of the lineup. He should probably be a mainstay if he can stay healthy. He should just stay there because he's been great. Oh, they have a problem, man. They have a problem. They have too many forwards, and too many of them just aren't useful. Too many of them aren't useful. Like, where the fuck did preseason Nick Robertson go? Like, what the hell, man? Like, he just disappeared. He's not necessarily playing bad, but he is snake bit, and it's just not happening. Like, he should have some fucking goals by now, but it's just not going in for him. I don't know what to say. They keep mixing up the lineups. It's not really doing a lot. I don't know, man. I think, honestly, if they're still doing Marner-Matthews, I think split it up. Go back to Matthews Nylander because I don't know, man. I get frustrated watching Marner play with Matthews because he tries the fanciest shit all the time, and it's just fucking simplify your game, dude. Like, I know you're super talented and you want everything to be a highlight, but fuck, man. Marner is one of the most infuriating players for me to watch. The only time I really like watching Marner play is on a penalty kill. That's really the only time I enjoy him. Outside of that, he's just trying too much all the time. Always trying way too much, and it's really frustrating. Like, Willie just does shit. He fucking pounds the puck in the net, drives the net, gets in the fucking zone, and he just does his thing, power and will. And then there's Marner, who does all this other shit that I don't like. So I feel like the Boston Bruins are going to fucking mutilate Toronto tonight. It's not even going to be close. Probably going to be a really infuriating game. And I won't watch it because I got to work tonight, so I don't have to watch this slaughtering. I'll watch the highlights, and we'll see how that one goes. But right now, Toronto going through, like, I know they have the same record that they did last year, but something feels different this year, and obviously it should. We got a new coach, and yeah, they're probably just going through growing pains right now, where like they've played a very similar system for years now, and now things have changed. The only thing that's really been good about it is the defense has been a lot better. Their goals against, they're 8th in the league. They're doing fantastic right there. Their penalty kill is better. The things that are struggling with them right now is goals for and their power play. Their power play is 10%, 31st in the league. And their goals for, they're 18th, which is not good enough for the amount of talent they have and the money that they're spending on their top six. And again, just adds to the argument that they're too fucking top heavy. And hey, well, we already know that Marner's going to get an increase in pay because, he's deserved it. So, yeah, let's give him $14 million too, because why not? And we know Matthew Nyes, young kid, we'll give him $14 million too because, fuck it, because we're just going to crumble whenever a potential superstar is emerging. We're just going to give him all the money. And do I need to go over to the Lafreniere extension where you see these guys signing for these deals and you just want to scream at a wall? Because, like, how did Matthews and Marner ever get the deals that they did out of their ELCs? How did they get so much money when they did so little? They did so little. I don't care about how many points they had. That does not matter to me. It's their playoffs. Like, if I was signing those contracts, that's where that fucking conversation ends. You did shit in the playoffs. You do not earn this money. Walk, sit, I don't give a shit. You're not getting it. There's no way I would have fucking folded the way that Dubas did with these stars, man. It has ruined this team. Ruined it. Absolutely ruined it. That was never in the works. They were never supposed to get that much money. Everyone was like, okay, we're looking at maybe 8x8, like something. It was so much more money, and it has ruined the team, man. They have not been able to ever get the depth scoring that they've needed. They can't afford to get a proper defense. I am shocked that they have as good of a defense that they have with all the money that they spent in the forwards. It's not a shock to me that this team is, they got too many mediocre forwards that just aren't really good enough. And man, I just really could never see a cup coming to this team, man. I just cannot see it. And it's just going to get worse. Like, they've already given Nylander a raise. Like, did he deserve a raise? Absolutely. Does he deserve that amount of money? No, he doesn't. He's a fucking winger. You're not Panarin level good, dude. I'm sorry. You're just not. And Panarin is come on. Like, that guy is he's ridiculous. You're not that. And that, again, is the Toronto tax. You gotta pay an extra 15 to 20% for everything. Everything. Especially stars, because, we gotta deal with the media. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, you also get the $10 million Tim Hortons fucking deals. You get all these fucking deals, and you guys still whine. I almost want to fucking trade teams, man. I don't want to root for this team no more. They're so fucking infuriating. So yeah, it's gonna be a rough one tonight against Boston. Like I said, thankfully I don't have to sit and watch this. I don't want to. I really don't want to, because the Bruins, they've been doing better lately. But the Bruins, like, I know Pasternak got fucking benched. I talked about the Marchand thing with Monty last week. He, like, pushed him. And it's like, who gives a shit? That's the kind of thing that's going to, like, make the Bruins win the cup this year or something. Like, that one push, that just sets off Marchand. He goes on a tear, and Pasternak wakes up. You know Pasternak's getting a hat trick tonight, right? You know that, right? It's happening because Monty called out Pasternak. Last time Pasternak got called out before a Leaf game, Game 7, who scored the overtime winner? Who clinched the series? Pasternak. So you know he's getting a hat trick tonight. Guaranteed. I'm sorry, Stallars. You might get pulled tonight because the Bruins are going to be on a mission to fucking destroy you guys. And I just don't see the Leafs answering that bell. No Matthews tonight. Who's going to step up? Who else is going to step up? Nylander? Of course he will. But the rest, I won't expect it. I'm not expecting a very good game at all for Toronto. And this is just going to be another one of those games for Boston where it's like, all right, everybody, we're going to rally. We're going to have the best game. McAvoy's going to get off the schneid. Pasternak's going to get off the schneid. If anyone's on a schneid right now, they're off it. And Swayman's going to have a 50-save fucking one goal against fucking amazing performance. It's going to be incredible. Best game of his season. That's how it goes in Toronto, man. You just know it. It's going to happen, and I will not be surprised when it happens. And I'll be even less surprised if they win. If Toronto wins 4-0, I will not be shocked either, because that is the other most Leaf thing that they can do, is just play a fucking sensational game in a game that they more than likely should get their asses kicked in. They have every reason to lose this game. They have their built-in excuse. Oh, Matthews is not here. We can lose. We'll lose, everybody, and if they want to lose, they will lose, and we'll see, man. You'll know within the first 2 minutes of the game if they're going to get fucking slaughtered or not. We'll see. We'll see if they're awake when the puck drops tonight. I don't feel good about it. And I don't know who they're playing. They got a rough week, man. They got 2 games this week. They got a Friday, Saturday game. It's Montreal and who's the other one? Oh, okay. Montreal and Detroit. I thought it was Boston again. I was like, oh no, not 2 Boston games. Okay. Oh, that was a close one. Yeah, again, I can't. Every team that I see, I'm just like, yeah, the Leafs might be better than them on paper, but Leafs love to play down to their opponents, man. They love it. So, yeah, I'm clearly not high on this team right now. I'm, after been a fan for about 20 years of trauma. Yeah, that definitely will tamper my expectations. I don't get too high on this team ever. I definitely get low, but I don't get as low as I used to, man. There were some times where some of those Game 7s did damage, bro. Like, I didn't talk for like a week one time. There's just no words to be said. I was just stunned. Just depressed. Just destroyed as a human. So that doesn't happen no more. I've passed after the Montreal series. That one calloused me forever. I will not get heartbroken again. I will get disappointed and I will get mad, but I will not get sad. All right. So Boston will win 7-1 tonight. That's inevitable. All right, let's talk about let's go over to Calgary for a hot second because I like them too, but obviously the Flames are starting to flame out. They're starting to flame out. Anyone with a brain on their head would have seen this one coming. They started great, and it was a lot of fun. It was awesome. New guys were fucking killing it. Fucking young guys were doing really good, and now they're losing a bunch of games. Even Huberdeau was started off so good, and now they've lost 5 of their last 6. They have that nice 3-0 shutout over the Devils. That was awesome. But yeah, man, the goals are starting to dry up. The goaltending's starting to let in more, and yeah, just across the board, they're just not really good at anything. Goals for, they're 20th. Goals against, they're 19th. Power play, 22nd. Penalty kill, 25th. So yeah, that is the makings of a bottom 10 team, possibly bottom 5. I don't know how low it's going to go for the Calgary Flames, but they peaked early, and it was fun. Remember it while you can, because that's it, folks. That's it. They're going to be going down from here, and what's the future going to be for Rasmus Andersson? This guy is crushing it. He's leading the team in points, 11 points in 12 games. What's the future for him? If he is getting traded this year, he will be like number one on the trade board. He will be the hottest commodity out there. A right shot defenseman. I don't know if he was like necessarily offensive defenseman. He's probably playing offensive defenseman this year to, kind of boost up those numbers, make things look a little bit better than they are. But we all know Rasmus Andersson is a fantastic defenseman. Tons of teams would love him. Tons of teams. Edmonton, Toronto. Well, I don't think the Leafs could get him. They're probably okay, but Edmonton, they would pay the sun and the moon to get him over there. Rasmus Andersson on the right side in Edmonton. That'd be so tasty. That'd be great. And I know that it's a thing, Calgary, Edmonton. They've traded before. I'm not against it. I don't think it's as no as it used to be. Teams trading with rivals. It happens now. Toronto used to trade with the Sens all the time. They took Dion Phaneuf. Remember that? Yeah, I do. But the rest of the team, it's starting to fall off. Huberdeau's got 8 points in 12 games. After a hot start, he has been cold. And yeah, man, the coach Koska's been calling out Martin Pospisil for costing them 2 losses. He straight up said that. He's like, his penalties cost us 2 games. So he's like, yeah, that's not acceptable. He's got to learn. So they're starting to call each other out. Matt Coronado just hasn't gotten it going again this year. He's only got 2 goals in 7 appearances. Really was hoping to get more out of him. Sharon Govich is back now. He's got 1 goal in 5 games. And I don't believe I've talked about Ryan Lomberg yet. That dude is awesome. I would love to get a Lamborghini Calgary Flames jersey. I think that would be really fun. I wish that Fanatics or whatever would do jerseys for guys with well-known like nicknames and stuff like that. Like Lamborghini, they could put that on the back of a jersey. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, you could just get them customized, but it'd be cool if they just did like a series of nickname jerseys, maybe like 1 or 2 players from each team and just do a special nickname jersey. I would love that. You get an Austin Matthews Poppy, you get an Ovi or like the grade 8 on the back. I don't know. You get Sid the Kid, stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, not really cool with the Calgary Flames right now. They're struggling. Dan Vladar, the goaltending's been fine. Wolf and Vladar got a .907 save percentage, so, they're doing fine. Wolf's getting the game tonight. We'll see how he does against, the fuck are they playing? They're playing against Montreal, so could be a win. Montreal's struggling as well as a Canadian team, so we'll see how that one goes with the Flames. But yes, as expected, the Flames are beginning to flame out. So we talked about Edmonton there for a second. Just a quick update on the McDavid injury. They said 2 to 3 weeks, but McDavid is already skating. He appears to be ahead of schedule again. This guy always seems to be ahead of schedule when it comes to his injury, so good chance you see McDavid back on the ice sooner rather than later. He seems to be doing well. And I also want to shout out that fight between Podkolzin and Lauzon in that Nashville game. Holy shit, what a punch. Wow, Podkolzin absolutely dropped Lauzon. And Lauzon is like, he's the hits leader in the league for like a couple years now. He's a tough customer. And the way that punch connected, holy shit, I can't believe he didn't knock him the fuck out. That was a great fight. Make sure you check out that one. Podkolzin versus Lauzon. That was a good-ass fight. St. Louis news, bad news for Broberg. He will be out 4 to 6 weeks. That fucking sucks because he has been a great addition. He has been fantastic, and that is definitely going to hurt. New York Islanders, Barzal is injured. He is out 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, he hasn't really done a lot. I have him in fantasy. He's been kind of a non-factor, but obviously that's their top line center. Does he play center anymore? He might be right wing, but he is obviously a top player for them, and that's going to hurt them. We'll see how the Islanders do getting through that. And also the question with the Islanders is, what's Brock Nelson's future? I guess it would depend on how the team does this year. He's on the final year of his deal, and he could potentially get traded. And again, if he is on the trade block, he would be up there with Rasmus Andersson as one of the most coveted assets. He is a fantastic player. He's super underrated, very, very consistent guy. Curious what would happen with him. Would he get traded? I think trade would probably be their best option. He's kind of an aging asset now. He's starting in his 30s. He's like 32, maybe 33 now. So I would move off him personally if I was the Islanders and try and get an asset out of that. But who knows what's going to happen? It's Lou, man. He is a very, very unpredictable GM. And speaking of unpredictable and contract extensions, let's talk about the Minnesota Wild and Kaprizov or whatever the hell you want to call them. I want to spotlight the Minnesota Wild. They have been sensational, except for the penalty kill, which has been wow bad. 8-1-2 is the Minnesota Wild. I don't think anyone really saw that one coming. Let me go back. I'm going to check out my predictions, and let me see where I had the Minnesota Wild. I had them in 6th place in the Central Division behind teams like Colorado, Winnipeg, Dallas, Nashville, and even St. Louis. I had St. Louis ahead of the Minnesota Wild, who are currently shutting my face up. 8th place in goals for per game, 3.73. 3rd place in goals against, 22% on the power play is 12th, and their penalty kill is egregiously bad, 65.2%, 31st in the league. Who the fuck is worse than that? I needs to know, but I don't know how to figure that one out. So obviously, Kaprizov is leading this team in points and damn near everything. This jabroni has 21 points in 11 games. Give him $40 million right now. A lot more than that. His extension is going to be massive. It is going to be the biggest contract in Minnesota history. He's going to slaughter the Parise and Suter deal. Get this guy locked up immediately. Oh my goodness. If they lose Kaprizov, which I don't think is... there was a little rumor going around that he might want to go to Chicago, but why go to Chicago when you're 8-1-2 right now, 2nd place in the Central, and your team is about to free up like $14 million in cap space and probably give that right to Kaprizov? But it doesn't matter. They're going to get better, man. Things are going to get better, and they're doing great right now. Philip Gustafsson is back, baby. He is back. Last year was a mulligan. The year before, he was sensational. He is back, baby. 6-1-1, a 2.12 goals against, and a 924 save percentage. This guy's a Vezina candidate right now. And then, of course, the Marc-Andre Fleury game. This guy's still playing. This is his final year, allegedly. And he had his final game in Pittsburgh, and it was a nice moment. Big win there for Fleury, and that was awesome. The little pranks that they played on him before the game, great stuff. Fleury right now, he's rocking an .899 save percentage. He's doing fine. He's doing okay. Outside of Kaprizov, Matt Boldy has been stepping up, man, and this is a really good thing for them. 13 points in 11 games, and that hopefully will be their top line center. They have needed a number 1 center for some time, and it looks like Matt Boldy might be it. Zuccarello, still loving it in Minnesota, playing with Kaprizov, point per game, 11 points in 11 games. Marco Rossi also stepping up. He's got 10 points in 11 games, 3 goals, 7 assists, so the young guys are taking a step forward. It seemed for the last 2 years in Minnesota, it was one or the other. Rather, Marco Rossi was going and Matt Boldy wasn't, or Matt Boldy was going and Marco Rossi wasn't. This year, it looks like they're both humming. This is great. Jake Middleton is humming. Holy shit, guy's got 8 points in 11 games as a defenseman. Fantastic. Eriksson Ek, super underrated player. 7 points in 9 games. 5 goals. Brock Faber, doing really good. Holy shit, he's a +8. That's amazing. Frederick Gaudreau, he's got 5 points in 11 games. Why the fuck not? Yeah, man, this team, except for Hartman. How's Hartman doing? 6 games, 3 goals. All right. Me and him have a little bit of beef. Just a little bit of beef. He was one of those fantasy players that he's hot, and then when you pick him up, he has a bad game, and then when you drop him, he's hot again. So, yeah, Hartman, fuck you a little bit for screwing me around a bunch last year and all that stuff, making me waste moves on you. But Minnesota, not a waste at all this season. They're punching way ahead of their weight class right now, and I hope it continues, man. This has always been a fun team to root for. At least in the Kaprizov era. Prior to that, like they never really had anything going on with their teams. Never really anybody amazing to watch. Right now, they got Brock Faber, they got Kaprizov, Boldy, Rossi, Faber. I think I might have already said his name, but yeah, man, it's an exciting team. Gustafson's been ridiculous, and yeah, man, if he continues to play like this, they're on their way to the playoffs. They're looking really good. And speaking of looking really good, the NHL franchise evaluations have come out, and everyone is up, baby. Everybody is up, especially the former Arizona Coyotes, the now Utah hockey team. They are up 70% in value over, oh my God, dude. Like, NHL just must be like, Gary Bettman, I doubt he is admitting that Arizona was a failure or they should have moved them substantially earlier, but he's probably like, you know what, maybe. He's maybe at the maybe point now, because look at all that extra money that they just got. That franchise is worth a fuckload, and I think it's still Toronto that is tops of the board. If not, then it's New York, but the big team, it's good. You know, NHL is on the rise. But it should have been like a lot more overall. Like the NHL should be in a way better place than it is right now for the sport that it is, but the league just keeps getting in its own way and makes it hard for new people to watch it. But regardless, you know what? The NHL evaluations are in and everything is up, and that's good. So I think that's everything I would like to talk about today. I will save some stuff for the next time. I did, for some reason, the Lafreniere extension just doesn't come up on Sportsnet. It just isn't there, but it's an amazing extension, bro. It's unfucking believable. And the thing that is the craziest about Lafreniere, all the points that this guy has, no power play. This guy never gets power play. If they would just give this poor kid some pee-pee, he'd probably be a 100-point player. So that contract, once he gets on the top power play and starts producing those points, this contract's going to be sensational. It is going to be one of the best bargains in the league, and well done for the New York Rangers. I mean, congratulations. You're allowed to sign a young star for under $100 million. Congratulations. You're better than the Toronto Maple Leafs. Some things I will say for the next time. I would like to talk about the Four Nation Cup tournament rosters, maybe do a little bit of predictions. It's really only the United States and Canada that there will be like, there's going to be some tough cuts, man. There's going to be some tough cuts for both of those squads outside. I think it's Finland and Sweden are the other two nations. I don't know. They don't really, again, they don't talk about it enough. They don't fucking advertise these kind of things. So who knows? And at some point, I will talk about the NHL, NHL.com versus Sportsnet.com's top 50 players. I have that. I would still like to talk about that at some point, but I think that'll do it for today, folks. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. You the best. You want to be even more of the best, though, make sure you're reviewing the podcast, share the podcast around with a few of your friends and enemies and family members and stuff like that. I have a Twitter page you can follow along with. All those links are in the description. Follow along on Twitter. I have a YouTube channel, Gamer GX Videos. I upload all of the podcast episodes over there. If you want to view them on YouTube, you can do that over there, and a great place to drop a comment. You want a question answered live on the podcast. Anything about hockey, video games, or wrestling would be preferred. Outside of that, I'm no expert, not an expert in this stuff either, but hey, don't go there. Stop it. And yeah, there's all that. And there's an email address you want to have a private conversation. My door is open for everyone and anyone. There we go, folks. In terms of what else we got going on with the GX Plus cast this week, GamerCast will be Bully. Going to be doing a Bully retrospective review. I've never played Bully before, and I will be telling you if Bully is still worth playing today. So that'll be coming out on Friday, I do believe. I have that coming out, and the WrestleCast will be a WrestleCast. I hope there's no pay-per-views this week. I need a break. I need a friggin' break. There's been way too much wrestling lately. I want to watch other things for once, and that would be great. And great, just like you. Make sure you're sticking around, and we'll be back with some more GX Plus Gift.